A little girl, broken by a heartless hit and run, fights back with a genius no one saw coming. Her mother's tears, her silent strength. Will justice win, or will cruelty prevail? Watch her rise from the wreckage and feel her story pierce your soul. Before watching the full video, comment below from where you watching. Arya is only 8 years old, but her life is already so hard. She sits in a wheelchair every day because of a rare sickness in her brain that stops her from walking or talking easily. Her little body may be weak, but her eyes, they shine like stars, full of smartness and wonder. She's special, so special, and you can feel it just by looking at her. Her mom Mira is all she has. Mira works long hours as a nurse, her hands tired from helping others, but she never has enough money. They live in a small house in a neighborhood where everyone follows strict rules set by the HOA. It's not fancy, but it's home, a safe place for Arya, or so Mira hopes. Every night, Mira tucks Arya in, kissing her forehead, whispering, "You're my everything." Arya can't speak like other kids, but she has a tablet that talks for her. She taps it with her small fingers and words come out, beautiful words. Mira watches in awe as Arya solves puzzles that even grown-ups can't figure out. Sometimes Arya writes poems, deep and lovely, like she's an old soul trapped in a child's body. Mira knows her daughter is a genius, a hidden treasure no one else sees yet. One day Mira sits with a neighbor, her voice shaking as tears spill down her cheeks. "Her father left us when she got sick," she says, her heart breaking all over again. "He couldn't handle it. But I can't give up. She's my miracle child, my reason to keep going." The neighbor listens, quiet as Mira wipes her eyes. She doesn't say it out loud, but she's scared, scared of losing Arya, scared of this world that doesn't understand her little girl's magic. Karen rules the neighborhood like a queen with no heart. She's the HOA president, always watching, always judging. Her hair is perfect, her house is spotless, and she loves power more than people. To her, everything has to look right: green lawns, quiet streets, no mess. She walks around with a clipboard, writing down every little mistake, her sharp eyes missing nothing. Mira feels Karen's cold stare every day. The ramp they built for Arya's wheelchair sits outside their small home, painted bright blue to make Arya smile. But Karen hates it. "It's ugly," she snaps one morning, standing at Mira's door. "This isn't a playground, it's a proper community." Mira clutches the doorknob, her chest tight with anger, but she stays quiet. She can't afford the fines Karen keeps slapping on them. One sunny afternoon, Arya sits outside, her tiny hands holding flowers she picked from their yard. Karen drives by, her fancy car gleaming, and stops. She rolls down her window and yells, "That crippled kid shouldn't be out here ruining the view." The words hit Mira like a slap. She runs out, her voice breaking, "She's my daughter, not a problem." Karen just laughs, cold and mean, and drives off, leaving Mira shaking with tears. That night, Mira sits alone in the dark, her hands covering her face. She feels small, helpless, like Karen's words have crushed her spirit. Arya rolls her wheelchair close, her big eyes soft and worried. Mira pulls her into a hug, sobbing, "I'll protect you no matter what she says." But deep down she's terrified. Karen's cruelty is a storm they can't escape, and it's only getting worse. The rain falls hard that afternoon, soaking everything. Arya sits outside in her wheelchair, her small hands tapping her tablet. She's drawing the storm, dark clouds, flashes of light, her face glowing with focus. Mira steps inside for just a moment, grabbing a towel to dry Arya off. "Stay there, baby," she calls, her voice soft. She doesn't know those words will haunt her. Karen speeds through the street in her big SUV, her phone in one hand, eyes off the road. The rain blurs everything and she doesn't see Arya. There's a sickening thud, metal slams into the wheelchair, tossing it into a muddy ditch. Arya's tiny body crumples, her tablet slipping into the water. Karen jumps out, her face pale, rain dripping down her perfect hair. She stares at Arya, still and silent, then climbs back into her car and drives away. She leaves her there like trash. Mira hears the crash and runs out, barefoot, screaming, "Arya! No, no, no!" She slips in the mud, crawling to her daughter. Arya's eyes are closed, her breathing shallow, blood mixing with rain on her face. Mira pulls her close, rocking her, sobbing, "Please, baby, don't leave me. You're all I have." Her hands shake as she brushes wet hair from Arya's forehead, her cries echoing in the empty street. Neighbors peek from windows, too scared to help. The rain keeps pouring, cold and cruel, as Mira clings to Arya, her voice breaking, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." She feels the world collapse. Her little girl, her fighter, lies broken because of one woman's selfishness. In that ditch, Mira's heart shatters and all she can do is hold on, praying for a miracle. The hospital room is cold and quiet, filled with the beep of machines. Arya lies in the bed, her small body covered in bruises, her legs wrapped in casts. The doctors pull Mira aside, their faces grim. She's hurt bad, they say. Broken legs, a hit to her head. She might never move again, not even in her chair. Mira's knees buckle. She grabs the wall, her breath gone, tears burning her eyes. She's only 8, she whispers, voice cracking. She's my baby. Mira sits by Arya's side, holding her tiny hand, so fragile now. Tubes snake around her daughter, and her chest barely rises with each breath. You're my fighter, Mira says, her voice trembling. You've beaten so much already, don't give up now. She kisses Arya's forehead, tasting her own tears, praying her little girl can hear her through the haze of pain. Arya's eyes flutter just for a second and her fingers twitch. Mira gasps, hope flickering in her chest. That's it, baby, come back to me, she sobs, squeezing Arya's hand tighter. The doctors don't know if she'll wake up fully, and every hour feels like a knife twisting in Mira's heart. She sees Arya's wheelchair in the corner, empty, and it hits her. Her daughter might never sit in it again. The thought rips a cry from her throat. Alone that night, Mira buries her face in her hands. I failed her, she whispers to the dark. I let this happen. Guilt chokes her, heavy and suffocating. But then Arya's hand moves again, weak but real, and Mira clings to it like a lifeline. I'll fight for you, she promises, tears falling. No matter what. In that moment all she has is love, and fear. Arya lies in her hospital bed, pale and weak, but her mind is alive. Her tablet, scratched but working, sits on her lap. She taps it slowly, her fingers shaky, and words appear, dark, beautiful words. Pain is a cage but my heart flies, she writes, a poem born from the accident. Mira finds her typing one night and reads it, her voice breaking. How do you do this, baby? She asks, tears spilling. Arya's eyes meet hers, bright with something unstoppable. A nurse sees the poem and shares it online, not saying who wrote it. By morning it's everywhere. People read it and cry, their hearts torn open by the words of a child they don't even know. Who is this? They ask, sharing it again and again. A doctor hears the buzz and brings a psychologist to test Arya. They give her puzzles, numbers, things no kid should understand. Arya solves them all, her face calm, her hands steady now. She's a genius, the psychologist says, stunned. 1 in a million. Mira sits by her, holding the tablet, reading the poem aloud. You're my miracle, she sobs, her voice thick with pride and pain. They don't know what you've been through, but I do. Arya taps a new message. I'm still here, Mama. Mira breaks, pulling her daughter close, careful of the tubes, crying into her hair. The world sees a poet, but she sees her fighter, her light in the dark. Outside, the poem spreads like fire, touching strangers who feel Arya's strength without knowing her name. Mira watches it happen, her chest aching with love. You're bigger than this pain, she whispers. Arya's small smile says she knows it too. The neighborhood buzzes with whispers about the hit and run. Arya's still in the hospital, fighting to heal, while Karen sits in her big house, pretending nothing happened. The police knock on her door, asking questions. She smirks, her voice smooth as ice. I didn't hit anyone, she lies. It was dark, rainy, maybe a dog ran out. Not my fault. She shuts the door, her heart cold, thinking she's safe. Mira hears about it and storms to Karen's porch, her hands shaking with rage. You hit my daughter, she yells, her voice raw, tears streaming down her face. She's lying there broken because of you. Karen steps out, arms crossed, her eyes hard. Prove it, she snaps, her lips curling into a cruel smile. No one saw anything. She turns away, slamming the door, leaving Mira sobbing in the rain. Inside, Karen calls the neighbors, her voice sharp. Keep your mouth shut, she warns, or I'll fine you all, make your lives hell. They nod, scared of her power, too weak to fight back. Mira walks home alone, her shoes soaked, her spirit crushed. She sits by Arya's empty bed, clutching a blanket, whispering, she's getting away with it, baby. I can't stop her. Her tears fall hot and fast, anger mixing with despair. At night, Mira stares out the window, seeing Karen's lights still on. She imagines her laughing free while Arya suffers. It's a punch to her soul, helplessness so deep it hurts to breathe. Someone has to make her pay, she says to the dark, her voice trembling with a mother's fury. But right now all she has is pain, and Karen's lie stands tall, mocking her every tear. Arya lies in her bed at home, her body frail, her legs still in casts. The room is dim, but her tablet glows as she taps it with trembling fingers. She's not writing poems now, she's hunting. Karen's security camera sits across the street, and Arya, with her sharp mind, finds a way in. She hacks it, her breath shallow, her eyes fierce. The footage loads, Karen's SUV slamming into her wheelchair, then speeding off. Arya freezes, tears welling up, but she doesn't stop. She taps a message for Mira. She can't hide anymore. Her voice through the tablet is soft but strong. Mira rushes over, sees the video and collapses to her knees. "Oh baby," she cries, her hands shaking as she watches the truth unfold. "You did this? For us?" Arya nods, her face pale but determined, a fire burning in her chest. Mira sobs, kissing Arya's forehead. "You're so brave," she whispers, her voice thick with awe and pain. Arya's too weak to move much, but she presses upload with a shaky hand. The video hits the internet, raw and real, spreading fast. Mira holds her close, tears soaking Arya's hair. "You're my hero," she chokes out, pride and grief crashing together. Outside, the world starts to see Karen's crime laid bare by a little girl who won't be silenced. Arya stares at the screen, her breathing uneven, a quiet strength in her eyes. She's taken her pain and turned it into power, all from a bed she can't leave. Mira watches her, heart breaking and swelling at once. "She'll pay now," she promises, her voice fierce. Arya's small hand rests on hers, a silent vow that this isn't the end, it's her fight and she's winning. The video hits like a storm. Arya's footage, paired with her poem, floods the internet. People watch, stunned, as Karen's SUV crushes a little girl's wheelchair. Comments pour in, "Who is she? This broke me." Strangers cry at their screens, sharing their own stories of hurt, their voices rising for Arya. Money starts coming. Small donations, big ones, people wanting to help the child they call the silent genius. Mira stares at the numbers, tears falling. "They see you, baby," she whispers. In the neighborhood, shame burns hot. Neighbors who stayed quiet now step up. One old man, his voice shaky, tells the police, "I saw Karen drive off that night. I was too afraid to speak." Others nod, their heads low, finally breaking free of her threats. The police swarm Karen's house, lights flashing as the street watches, angry, alive, awake at last. Mira sits with Arya, showing her the messages. "Look what you did," she says, her voice trembling with pride. Arya's eyes shine, weak but bright as she taps, "They hear me now." Mira hugs her tight, sobbing, "Yes they do, my brave girl." The world's love pours in, letters, drawings, prayers, each one a dagger to Karen's lies. Outside, people gather, holding signs with Arya's words, "Pain is a cage but my heart flies." Mira watches from the window, her chest aching. She sees a mother like her, tears on her face, reading the poem aloud to the crowd. "You started this," Mira murmurs, turning to Arya, who breathes softly, her fight touching souls she'll never meet. The community, once silent, now roars, for justice for a little girl who made them feel again. Karen's perfect world cracks open. Police bang on her door, lights flashing red and blue across her manicured lawn. She stumbles out, her face twisted, yelling, "You can't do this. I'm the HOA president." But the cuffs snap on, cold and tight, as neighbors cheer from their porches. Her power's gone, stripped away by a little girl's truth. She glares at the crowd, but no one's afraid anymore. They hate her. At the trial, Arya rolls in, her wheelchair creaking, her body still weak. Mira pushes her, head high, eyes wet with tears. The courtroom hushes as Arya's pre-recorded voice plays, "I forgive you but you must pay." Her words, soft but heavy, hit like a punch. Grown men wipe their eyes, mothers sob into their hands. Karen sits, head down, shrinking under the weight of Arya's strength. The judge's voice booms, "Reckless endangerment, hit and run, years in prison." Karen screams, "This isn't fair," but the gavel slams and she's dragged away. Her fancy house sits empty now, her husband leaves, her friends vanish. She's alone, locked in a cell, her cruelty her only company. Mira watches the news, her heart pounding, whispering, "It's over, baby." Back home, Arya rests, her breathing slow, her face peaceful. Mira kneels by her, tears falling fast. "You made her face it," she says, voice breaking. "You showed them all." The neighborhood feels lighter, Karen's shadow gone, replaced by a quiet hope. Mira strokes Arya's hair, her chest tight with love and relief. "She'll never hurt you again," she promises, sobbing softly. Arya's small hand twitches, a silent victory, as the world outside heals from the storm Karen left behind. Months pass and Arya's body grows a little stronger. Therapy, paid for by strangers' kindness, helps her sit up, even smile. She writes more, poems of hope, of storms survived, and they fill a book. She dedicates it, her tablet voice clear, to every silent genius out there. Mira holds it, tears in her eyes, and says, "This is you, baby, changing everything." The book sells fast, each page a piece of Arya's soul. Mira steps into a new life, speaking for kids like Arya, kids the world ignores. She's fierce now, her voice steady, fueled by her daughter's fight. At a community event, they unveil a mural, huge, colorful, with Arya's words, "Wheels may break, but souls fly free." The crowd claps, some crying as Arya watches from her chair, her eyes bright. Mira stands beside her, proud and broken all at once. People come, neighbors, strangers, thanking Arya, leaving flowers. A little boy in a wheelchair touches the mural, whispering, "She's like me." Mira chokes up, seeing Arya's light spread. At home, she sits with her daughter, reading messages from faraway places. "You gave them hope," she says, her voice thick. Arya taps, "We did it together," and Mira laughs through tears, pulling her close. The sun sets, painting the sky gold. Mira pushes Arya outside, the air warm and soft. "You saved us," she murmurs, her heart full. Arya looks up, her face calm, and taps her final line, "I'm free now." Mira sobs, hugging her tight, feeling every scar, every victory. The mural glows in the distance, a mark of a little girl who turned pain into power, leaving a legacy that won't fade.